Welcome to Moneymaker, the podcast that gives you the tools to enrich your life in every sense of the word. I'm your host, Nely Galan. Let's get started. I am someone who has worked many years, more with artists even. I mean, I've worked a lot with business people, as you know, from my backstory. And I do have a split love life because I love finance and business and entrepreneurship and all things to do with financial literacy. And I also love the arts. I love writing and filmmakers and artists. And, I don't know if people know that I have a huge art collection, and I really spend most of my time with artists, which tells you a lot about me, even though I love business people too. And, one of my dearest friends is Richard Blanco, who is the inaugural poet for Obama. And he also is the poet laureate, especially of Florida. He's like our big star here. And he just won the Humanities Medal from Biden, alongside with Bruce Springsteen and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So, I mean, he's in very good company. And he's a very beautiful person and a dear friend of mine for many years. And to me, he is such an incredible, deep poet. And he's taught me a lot about the left brain and the right brain, which I think I'm one of those left brain, right brain people. But this idea that when you're an artist, that so many artists think of themselves as almost like their mindset is that I'm a starving artist. And people even say that all the time, or, I'm a freelancer, I'm a this, I'm a that, while I become an artist. And it's like a split in the brain. And it's interesting because I think the reason I relate to him so much is he says to me, before I was an artist, I was a bridge engineer, and he's an engineer. And so like a lot of people would never think that somebody that's written world-class poetry, that's, he's won every prize in poetry, would be an engineer. And he said, actually, I think artists have to think of themselves more entrepreneurially and with a really clear mission, and how to really balance your time and manage your time, and also really think through how you're going to pay for that art until you get to the place. It's almost like you're investing in an entrepreneurial business by doing these other things that feed the entrepreneurial business. And that's a very different way of thinking of your art. And it's interesting to me because I think I have always lived with, unbeknownst to me, sort of a split life where I have things that I'm very businesslike about and cold about. I don't think people really know that I have all of these kind of alleys of diversification where, for instance, I own a lot of real estate, and I've talked a lot about that. So, my real estate business is a business, and my television business, where I own the rights to programs, which is called IP, intellectual property, is another business. And when I make shows, that's a different business. And so those are all businesses. But within all of that, I also have a life. Sometimes my lives intersect, the creative life and the business life. So I own a lot of art. I've collected a lot of Latin American art, which for many years of my life was one of my creative pursuits. I don't think people know that I was on the board of the Smithsonian. I'm now an alumni member of the board of the Smithsonian, and I helped sort of gear this idea of an African American museum and a Latino museum. So, and that was strictly from my heart and my soul and my art and loving art. And yet now it's gone into my business side because a lot of the art that I bought is valuable, and I have to sort of split it into my art that is very valuable and I have to figure out what to do with, and some things that I just have bought because it's my joy, right? So I do think that this world of art and the world of business tend to not be together in the minds of people, that are artists, or in the minds of people that are business people. But what I've learned from my friend Richard is that they actually can coexist and that we actually have to name it that. Like, I think at some point in the past, it would seem flaky if you said, I'm a Wall Street finance person, and then I paint on the side. They think, what are you? You're just trying to be, master of none, jack of all trades and master of none. And in today's world, I think we've realized that so many of us have these different sides to who we are, and that those sides can coexist, and that you can be, for instance, a famous actor that is also, flips houses on the side, and that's a whole other business that you have, and that they both feed each other. And so I think it is in that mindset that I am choosing to live these days. Like, I'm leaving to go to a writing retreat with 10 writers and spend a week writing. And it's definitely going to be in my creative, complete heart, complete soul side. But I don't know what's going to come out of that eventually might go into my business side. And I try to live fluidly between those two things. And I think you're going to hear an incredible talk with Richard Blanco, where he kind of makes it more concrete for you and explains how to put structure around your art and structure around everything you decide to do, so that it's all congruent with each other and it's all one big flow. Moneymaker is a production of Money News Network. Moneymaker is written and hosted by me, Nely Galan. Our executive producer is Morgan Lavoie. Thanks for listening. See you next time.